Okay, so I'm quoting to you from the Civil Aviation Authority website. It says here, do not fly closer to people than 50 metres. Well, you were certainly within 50 metres of me when I was stood in the middle of the DVSA check site.
Right.
Okay, so I suspect you of then breaching that regulation, so I'm asking for your details.
Right, so which class of drone does that refer to?
What weight is your drone?
Am I required to answer that question? I'm not required to assist you in your investigation. You've now just looked on the CAA website.
Yes.
And found that drones that are below 250 grams,
Okay.
you're allowed to fly closer to people than 50 metres and over their heads. So therefore you don't suspect me of committing an offence anymore, do you?
Well, I'm not trying to trick you. You've come to a traffic officer's course. There's a number of officers in there doing some traffic work.
Right.
You're flying a drone over our heads. It's distracting us from our work, and it's potentially a safety issue. So I've come out to discuss that with you.
Right.
And the first thing you want to do is to film me and refuse to give me any details.
The first thing you want to do is accuse me of committing an offence and start making up laws and saying that I have to give you my details when you know I don't.
The officer takes one sentence from the CAA guidance and treats it as though it applies to every drone. That is where the problem begins. The 50-meter rule he refers to does not apply in the same way to sub-250-gram drones like Brett's. Those drones are placed in a different category because they present a lower level of risk. The officer also claims that Brett is distracting them, but being a distraction is not a legal offense. There is no law that allows police to demand someone's details simply because they find lawful activity inconvenient while carrying out traffic duties. Brett is not blocking the road, interfering with vehicles, or breaking any airspace restrictions. He is simply flying a drone in a way that the law allows.
I asked you, you said no.
Yep.
You then asked me quite understandably, do I have to? I've said, I suspect you may have committed an offence. You said, what offence? So I'm now looking at, if you want specific act and section, then I'll do what I can to try and find that for you.
Well, do you want me to help you out with that? I'm not committing an offence.
Okay, because what's your understanding of...
Because you've just read the rules out and I'm within those rules.
The weight of your drone?
Well, I'm telling you that it is within the rules. You saw how small it was. So unless you reasonably suspect that it's heavier than that...
Okay, keep at least 150 metres away from residential, commercial and industrial...
What class of drone's that?
Well, I'm
telling you, it's ones that are above 250 grams. The one I've got, you're allowed to fly wherever you like.
Let me rephrase it, because you sound like you know some of it.
I do.
What's the understanding of the regulations for flying your drone? What do you believe it is?
Well, I'm allowed to fly my drone over there. Unless you've got specific agreements with the Civil Aviation Authority to say that I'm not allowed to fly my drone over there.
Brett is right to question the officer's reasoning. The officer admits that he does not even know the weight of the drone, yet he assumes that the stricter rules apply. That is not how policing should work. If an officer wants to rely on drone regulations, they should first have reasonable grounds to believe the drone falls into a category where those rules apply. Brett also mentions that some locations have special agreements or flight restrictions. These restrictions do exist, but they are limited to specific places such as airports, prisons, or other protected sites. They are officially published and clearly defined. They cannot simply be assumed during an encounter.
I'll tell you what I'll do, because we have a team of drone operators within the police.
Yep.
I will try and get hold of one of them. I'll say I've got a chap here who's not being very forthcoming with anything at all.
I am. I've explained all the rules to you.
You won't even tell me who you are.
Well, why should I tell you who I am? So I know I'm not committing an offence.
You haven't given me any rules. You've just said I'm allowed to fly my drone.
Yeah.
You haven't quoted any rules.
Well, I have. I've explained to you, when you've read up those rules, I've explained to you that I know I am allowed to fly there because there's no legislation that says that I'm not allowed to fly there.
Okay. I'm happy to admit to you, sir, my specialism is traffic, so I'm operating outside of my area of expertise.
Right.
But
I'm helping you out here, aren't I, by telling you what the rules are?
Well, we'll get our colleagues
okay.
to know the rules.
Forgive me for saying this, but I can't let people go and just disappear off and not give any details. If I suspect an offence has taken place and you're just refusing the details and you're telling me that you haven't broken the law, because it may be that you have.
Maybe I have.
It may be that you have.
Yeah,
I suspect you may have committed an offence.
Well, I haven't.
Forgive me for not knowing the action section.
Okay, well, obviously, if you arrested me for failing to give you my details when I know I haven't committed an offence.
The officer openly admits that he does not know the drone laws, cannot identify the relevant legislation, and does not know which legal power applies. Despite that, he still insists that Brett should provide his personal details because he believes an offence might have been committed. That is not how reasonable suspicion works. Police powers must be based on clear legal authority, not on the hope that a law might apply later. Officers either have a lawful reason to demand someone's details or they do not. Admitting that you do not know the law while still insisting on compliance raises serious questions about whether those powers are being used correctly. It gives the impression that the officer is relying on authority rather than a proper understanding of the law.
Well, it's quite an interesting site, and I want to film it. I know that I'm within the law to do that, and I'm quite entitled to do it.
And
You've come out here threatening me that if I don't give you my details, I could be arrested.
I never said that.
Well, that is the case, though, isn't it? You say you suspected me of...
I've never threatened. The first person to mention arrest was you.
No, you said that you suspect I might have committed an offence, so therefore I have to give you my details. Now, if you suspect I've committed an offence and I won't give you my details, what's your next course of action?
Well, I'm going to get some advice. I've then said,
The arrest,
I'll be honest
wouldn't
with you, sir. You're speaking to a traffic officer about something to do with drones. It's outside my area of expertise.
You've looked on the CAA website. I've explained the rules to you. I've shown you that it's a 249 gram drone. So now you know I'm not doing anything wrong, perfectly within the rules, so I can take off again and carry on with what I was doing, can't I?
It's distracting me from my work. It's distracting colleagues. They're looking up at what might be buzzing, what's buzzing just above their heads, whilst they're trying to work around 13-ton cranes which may suddenly move or have a defect. So I'm not trying to be awkward. I just want my colleagues to be safe. I want me to be safe.
But I just think it's important that if we're allowed to do something, the public, we should be able to do it, and we shouldn't be able to have like stormtroopers coming out telling us that we're not allowed to do it.
Do you think I'm a stormtrooper?
Well, I'm just saying, you know, you guys, the way you're dressed, you know, with stab vests, and you're kind of like your badges. Sorry,
I have to identify myself as a police officer. Otherwise,
yeah, but what's this? That's not part of the uniform, is it?
It's to explain which team I work on. I'm part of the no excuse team. It's a traffic department within Exeter Road Policing.
Okay.
It is if you want to check Twitter or Facebook. It is.
Is that provided by the force, that badge, or is that something you had to source yourself?
That's something I sourced myself. I'll be honest with you.
So okay. Well, I'm pretty sure that the uniform policy says that you're not allowed to decorate your uniform with badges that aren't issued by the police.
Police officers are expected to wear only badges, patches, and insignia that have been officially issued or approved by their force. This rule is not about minor uniform details. It exists to protect professionalism, neutrality, and public confidence. When an officer admits that a badge or patch was personally obtained rather than officially authorized, it raises legitimate concerns. A police uniform represents the authority of the police service, not the personal views of the individual wearing it. The thin blue line symbol has become widely debated because many people see it as representing a particular viewpoint about policing. For that reason, many police forces have made it clear that officers should avoid displaying symbols that could be seen as showing personal beliefs, bias, or allegiance while on duty. The aim is to maintain public confidence by ensuring officers appear neutral and impartial at all times.